I kind of like that name. Volume.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Marvel Snap content. Today, we're going to be talking about Wolverine, Horsemen of War, because he's on the approach and should be releasing in a few weeks, actually. He's going to be one of the starter cards in the next season. Don't think he's going to be the Battle Pass. I think that's going to be the organic virus, but I do think he will be the Series 6 that they first bring along with it. That is going to be for 6,000 coins, or I guess 5,000 if you're lucky out of the seasonal. And I kind of have an interest towards this guy because I think he might be relatively decent. So, what does he do? Wolverine Horseman of War is a 4/3. Objective: this card has 5 or more power. Give one of your cards at each location 3+ power. I think this includes himself too, because it would be the center location, right location, and middle location, so he might buff himself as well. So he's technically a 4/12 if you think about it, which is actually pretty solid, especially if it does apply to him. Now, he is a 4-cost, so you will need to be a little cautious when it comes to Gambit, Horseman of Death. My brain froze there. So because he could technically get targeted. So if Gambit's still popular, this guy might be in his crosshairs. That being said, I think this Wolverine could be pretty useful in a few places. I think he could probably be used in Destroy, and he might be able to use it in other places like Shallow decks or Captain Carter decks. I feel like there's something here where you can place him in a few places as long as you can give him his 3 extra power, which is quite easily, since Agony is such an easy slot in most decks that you're running, like Kitty Pryde in, or like Deadpool in, or like anywhere. Like, well, I don't want to say anywhere, but like it's pretty versatile where you can put this guy just because of how easy his objective is. Now, I could be wrong. It might be harder than it seems, but like just off paper, slap him on Agony and you're cooking. You know, give him Petty Parker like robot, you're cooking. Maverick, Shallow, like there's so many ways to, you know, amp this guy up. Galactica, like there's so many options. So I feel like this guy's got something going on with him. So I want to talk about some decks that could be potentially ran with him. There's 2 in particular that I think I might experiment with, assuming I get these cards. But I think I can slot him into one of my decks just as is, just because of how the deck runs. So he is a 4/3. It's a little pricey to place a 4/3, but the payoff could be pretty worth it if you want to go wide. So here's the deck I'm running at the moment. It's my Scarlet Surge deck. I use Surge. I'm using Penny Parker, Maverick, Chameleon, which you could probably Chameleon this guy in the last turn if you have a way to buff both of them. It's not out of the realm of possible. It's not like it's not out of the realm of impossible, especially if Surge hits them. I feel like there could definitely be a way you could Chameleon this guy and then buff them both. That'd be interesting. So I am wondering, because I'm probably going to drop Elsa out of this deck. I was going to put Galactica in here because it makes a lot of sense. But if I do that, I can also cut probably the Hulkbuster out as well. I would prefer a Superior Spider-Man. That way this deck flows a little bit more smoothly. We could also cut Wingbeat here. I only use it because it gives +2 power. You don't need it for the cost. It is just kind of there for the +2 power. So that's kind of nice. So I feel like Wolverine could just kind of slot in this deck relatively comfortably and then also buff the Scarlet Spider on top of it. Man Spider would be sick, by the way, if I had Man Spider. That'd be pretty poggers. I think it'd be easier to run over Shallow at times. There's another deck I was kind of theory crafting, and it's this one right here, because we're getting also Storm Horseman of Famine. Keep in mind, this is outdated. She's actually going to be a 3/1. It was changed. It hasn't been updated yet. I don't know if they're going to stick with it or revamp her back to like 3/2. I think 3/1's a little bit weird, and she's going to be more so a high Evo unit, and or Star-Lord Masters of the Sun unit. If we figure out a deck to use him in because he's a 5/8 at the moment, so he's a little bit awkward to use. But like, she would fit with Star-Lord just due to the fact that you're saving, or you just want to unuse, you want to preserve energy. So it would make sense for you to run her with him just to get extra power in your deck. Captain Carter might be pretty solid with this guy because you would just put her on the Agony. You would put her, just with the Penny Parker bot. You just amp her up and then put Wolverine in the back slot to get her power to freely, be able to use Chameleon. Like, you would put, like, just for an example here, Captain Carter and Surge on the front row of a location, right? And then if Surge hits, Chameleon and or Wolverine, turn 6, you could place both of these down on those locations and get a double proc of the objective, passing more power to your allies. Just an idea. I think Chameleon is a great unit when you use a Surge. Exclusively when you use a Surge, especially, like, because, like, she makes everything more cheap. You might want to run, like, I think Superior Spider-Man would be pretty good in this deck since you're amping it up anyway. It'd be just a way to get more energy. You could probably just cut out something. What would you cut out for a Superior Spider-Man? Honestly, you probably just cut out, like, because you want Deafening Chord for tech to disable something. You could probably cut Kitty since we're not really running. Well, Kitty's good with Superior Spider-Man because that's a guaranteed power, like, up. You could cut Penny Parker. The only thing I don't like about Penny Parker is that she's technically a 5 cost because you have to play her and then a 3 cost AP bot, which is like her main issue. But she does give a guarantee 3 power, so that's something that's really nice. And also, she gives you energy if you merge it with her, which is why she's in the stack. I feel like she's usable at some points, especially if like Surge hits her. She's very usable, but like it's situational, right? Surge is just a free slot in. Surge is going to give you free power no matter what, so it's going to proc Superior Spider-Man, which I think would be a good fit in this deck. I do like the idea of Deafening Chord in here just for the utility. It just kind of depends like what you want to cut. When it comes to budgeting, you might have to cut something. You don't technically need Storm because you have such a good early game with turn 2. But Storm is just kind of like floating there as an idea. You kind of want to play Captain Carter on turn 3 if possible. But Superior Spider-Man would be good. Like, because she's not released until like the end of the month. You could try something like this for now. I think this could be relatively safe and pretty solid, especially since you're going to get really big, especially with the Man Spider Penny Parker like wombo combo. For those who don't know what you do, you just place Agony in a location, you place Penny Parker in a different location, you merge Penny Parker with her bot, and then you Man Spider the Penny Parker onto the Agony, and it kind of like super duplicates the power. So it's really funny, which is a really cool win condition, which is why like Penny's in here, because of that one reason. But you could probably utilize it in other ways too. So just floating around ideas where I think this guy could go. He could definitely go into Destroy too. I think Destroy is a very easy home from the go, especially if you have Head Pull. Head Pull will just fill this guy up. You just have to kill Head Pull 3 times so you can fill him up. You could also run like Nova in the deck. You could run Agony, Hulkbuster, like, because like you're going to be running Deadpool anyway. So you could fit those in pretty easily. So I feel like Destroy is a decent place for him to be as long as you don't destroy him on accident. He isn't... I don't know if it'd be too strong, but it would be interesting if he was just unkillable because he's Wolverine. If he couldn't get destroyed, it'd be very... I feel like it'd be a little too strong, even though he's a 412, which is not, like, crazy when you think about it, because, like, Chamber can go 215, and he's a 2 cost. But it's not bad either, because it gives you the ability to go wide, which I think is the most important aspect of this guy, is that you get the ability to go wide. So, Jack Frag is also kind of an option. Which is crazy to say, because like he's like a backup unit you'd use, because he would just give you an extra additional 2 power. But like the thing with this deck is like you're not amping up every unit, you're kind of just focusing out certain units. So this one's a little bit more tricky. Since it's not an ongoing effect, it does not work with Captain America, so it makes it a little weird. You could Shao-Lao. This deck's very Shao-Laoable. You just have to take out Penny Parker and throw in something else. You would need more 1 cost essentially to Shao-Lao. Which is doable. You'd Maverick Shao-Lao and it would probably work pretty decently too. it'd just be a little weird because like you're gonna want to go Kitty, Galactica, Shao over Man Spider, but I feel like Man Spider is just a better choice to get bigger quicker. You could Zola as well. Zola is definitely something you could think about. There's a lot of options here, which is why I'm like very interested in this guy because I feel like he's going to be pretty solid. Like his numbers will impact your game a little bit, but I'm not sure like if that's going to make him like busted or just a good unit. Like I feel like he's just a good unit because he's giving you 3 power in every location, which is kind of nice. It's not crazy. It's just kind of nice, and it's not too hard to do either. When you think about it, like you literally just give him a Maverick buff and he's good. You literally give him an Agony and he's good. Penny Barker bot and he's good. It's not too bad to like get him up there. In fact, you could also just slap down Captain Carter onto the same thing on an Agony. She can get surged and become a 2/3, and then like it's the same thing. Like it's just a free extra power Wolverine. My fear, though, for this guy, since we're talking about him going wide and tall, is that he won't give you the ability to go tall enough. I think that's going to be one of his core issues. Is that even though you can go wide with this guy, I don't know how tall you can get with it since it is limited to 3 power on each location. So unless you can really manipulate the ability to go really, really big with the help of Man Spider, it's going to be a little bit tricky to really get big with him, which is why I think like Chameleon can help with that because you can get 2 technically, and then it's 6 in each location, which is looking a bit better. You could Zola it, which is still technically 6, so you just get 2 extra. I feel like Chameleon is just an easier tool to use when it comes to Wolverine. You could Frigga him as well. If you could make him come down at turn early, you could Frigga him. And then it would work with Gambit, Horsemen of Death, because he's a 4 cost, and you only need 2 extra cost. You could do that. Potentially. So, Wolverine. Do I think he's good? I think so. I think he's going to be a unit that is used for utility to get you the ability to go a little bit wider. I do think he'll be pretty solid. I feel like he's going to be pretty decent in Destroy, which is kind of crazy, because it's just another Wolverine, which would mean Shao Wolverine, like Shao Destroy, I guess. Where is he at? Shao in here, Maverick, and then you have plenty of 1 placements. You have your Deadpool and your Headpool that are 1 placements. That should be enough 1 placements to work pretty efficiently. And then Muse. Throwing out ideas. Whether it works, I don't honestly know. It's just an idea. But yeah, Wolverine, Horseman of War. I think he's pretty good. I think there's going to be a lot of potential for this guy to go in plenty of decks. I think he's going to be a good unit to slot in when you're trying to do any type of like scaling and going wide. And the only thing I'm concerned about is that a 4/3 is kind of hard to slot in sometimes, which is why Search is so nice. So I am curious to see if this is going to be his downfall, is the cost. 4 is an important number. It is a cost of a card that you want your deck to be like, you want to be sure he's going to impact your board. Like he's not, like Phantom X, he's a 4 cost, but you know what he's doing. He's a lot bigger than he seems. This guy also is a lot bigger than he seems. So I feel like he should be a good 4 drop or a 3 drop if you can get him discounted. So I feel like he's going to be pretty good. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas of what decks you could use him in. I'm more confident in like this style of deck where I just take out Elsa Bloodstone and put in Wolverine. It just feels like an easy plug and play. In my opinion, this seems like a very easy plug and play, right? Because I have so many ways to attach something to him or just, buff him up. So this one makes more sense to me because Scarlet Spider's gonna be a lot more easily to manage with the separation. I just wish I had Man Spider because it'd be Man Spider over Shao in this deck. I think pretty safely Man Spider over Shao, and then I could also just remove Maverick that way and just look for something else to plug in. Probably Superior, like it'd be Superior Spider-Man, I think. So it'd be like the same deck, but it'd be Man Spider, Wolverine, Horseman of War, and then Superior Spider-Man here. I think that'd be the deck I'd prefer to try and test to see if that works better. I feel like the Man Spider idea could just go a long way. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys are thinking when it comes to Wolverine, Horseman of War. I am interested to see what you guys can come up with before he releases. But I think there's something here, and I'm very interested in this guy. I think out of all the units that are coming out next patch, He's the one I'm most interested in. It was Storm at one point, but like now it's Wolverine. I think Wolverine's the one I'm interested in. So let me know. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, hanging out, and thinking of stuff. I'll talk to you later.